Good evening, nerds around the world, and welcome at long last to episode 135 of the Nerds Unite as One podcast. Yes, we are finally back. It's been a long time. I know. I've run out of excuses at this point. You know how it goes. Sometimes life gets in the way. We have issues with blah, blah, blah. But we're back, and hopefully we will not be going on another long hiatus anytime soon. My name is Paul English, and like always, we have a fantastic show for you tonight. As today we are going to be counting down our top 5 favorite television season finales of all time. And when you have a topic this much fun, it doesn't take any talent at all to assemble a fantastic panel that you know and love. Let's start with the regulars. You know them and you love them. It is Colton Hunt and Mike Kulik from Geek Salad. Gentlemen, what's up?
Woo! I'm so glad to be back, especially for this topic. I thought I was going to miss it last week, but then through a freak chance of luck, we got delayed again. So I'm like, yeah, I can join this one.
Paul, gentlemen, where? I got nothing.
All right. Yeah. Mike doesn't consider himself a gentleman. That's okay. We know he is, as does his girlfriend. And holy shit, guys, can you believe who's actually back? It has been so rare that he's done a show in the past 4 years. But now, folks, he is back. And hopefully, for good this time, he will not be so intermittent. Hopefully, he'll be on more regularly. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to reintroduce our founder, our creator, the man who started all, the one and only, my buddy, Caleb Tufts. Welcome back, my friend.
Yes. Anyone that's an OG that have watched the beginning, I'm back at my mom's house. I moved back to New Hampshire. I'm single now. Hopefully, I have more free time. I'll be home more, and I'll be able to do more shows. And then when I get my desk soon, I'll be able to host and kind of get back to doing what I should be doing. So great to be back, Paul. It's great to see everybody. And I'm just super excited. So.
All right. Well, we are super excited to have you back. Now, also, for those who have been, if you're an OG fan who've been watching us for a while, as I reintroduce Caleb, you might have noticed a somewhat familiar face. I think, wait a minute, I know that guy, but didn't something happen? What's going on here? Why is he here? Well, to give a brief explanation of it and to reintroduce this old friend, I'm going to turn it over to Caleb. Caleb, would you care to reintroduce this person?
About years ago, Paulie. About 2 years ago, year and a half ago, whenever there was an incident that occurred. The incident, that's nobody's business. It's done and over with. But because of this incident, I made this individual leave our group and essentially leave the show. But times have changed. I have forgiven him. He's a very passionate person. He's a very good contributor, and I'm very very happy to welcome back Jack to the group and to the show. So Jack, welcome back, buddy. How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me back, guys. I really missed this.
All right.
We missed your contribution.
We're happy to have you back, and everybody can move on. So, Paulie, go ahead, buddy.
All right. So, given the nature of this topic, it's safe to say that this is going to be a spoiler-heavy show, considering season finales usually have a lot of spoilers, tying up a lot of loose ends. So we will do our best to keep the spoilers to a minimum, but consider this your official spoiler warning. If you hear a show that you haven't catched up on and you want to see it and you don't want to risk getting spoiled, turn back. I will do my best to put some timestamps down in the information section below to try and let you know when you can skip through an episode that you don't want to hear about, but consider this your spoiler warning. So, guys, I don't want to waste any time. Let's jump right in. And you know what, Jack, since you were back after all this time, I'm going to go to you first. Give me your number 5 favorite season finale.
Well, I didn't do it in order, but I'll just pick one. Danny Phantom, which I'm sure all of you have seen.
Nope.
Yes,
Yes.
definitely seen it. Very good.
Paul, you're joking right now. You seriously haven't seen Danny Phantom?
No, didn't interest me.
So Danny Phantom was a great show, and the season finale really ended great because everybody, the world, found out that Danny Fenton was Danny Phantom. He got together with his love, Sam, and the villain was exposed to the world and defeated in an end with everybody knowing, and just in a good old happy place. And I hope they bring the show back, but do it 10 years later.
Okay. All right. Colton, I'm going to come to you next. What's number 5 on your list?
Okay, but first, a very quick honorable mention. The third season finale of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is my honorable mention. I came close to including it on the list, but the finale itself is actually kind of average. But the reason it's an honorable mention is because of the ending. Seeing the command center blowing up, that was just a shock when I was little. And I think that was maybe the first to be continued next season cliffhanger I ever saw. So, and the fact that we had to wait like maybe 5 or 6 months to find out what happened to the command center, that was like quite a way to find out what happened to Zordon and Alpha, and thinking that might be the end of the Power Rangers. That was quite an ending for a kid to witness, I gotta tell you.
Absolutely.
But anyway, the actual number on my list season is the 6th season finale of Smallville. This was the first finale I had ever seen when I understood the concept of seasons, if I'm correct, and it was the first time I had watched it. And I'd seen season finales and all that jazz, but this is the first time I actually knew I was watching a show while knowing what a season was. I had watched, and this is the first time I made it from the first episode, from the premiere, all the way to the finale without missing anything. And the finale, it did not disappoint. It's lower on the list because there was a little bit of unnecessary melodrama between Clark and Lana, like always. But beyond that ridiculous stuff, I really liked how Martian Manhunter returned. He was a highlight of the season. He comes back hunting down the Final Phantom, and like the episode starts off with the Final Phantom actually ripping John Jones's, I think his heart or maybe even some other vital organ right out of his chest. And that was probably one of the most bloody things I'd ever seen in a TV show when I was 16, I think. And then Martian Manhunter just, even though he just lost a vital organ, he just straight up decks the Phantom right in his face before getting thrown out the building. And then suddenly Lex and his men come in, try to capture the Phantom, and it escapes. And then everything then starts to slowly build up as we find out, as Lana and Clark, they get back together finally, and he reveals that he's an alien to her. Again, I said while I wasn't a fan of all the melodrama between them, it was actually sweet to see them, it was a kind of a sweet moment, and I liked how Clark and how things were finally, there were no more secrets between Clark and Lana at last. But the best part was the final few minutes where Lex not only captures the Phantom, but as he's about to extract its blood and use it to create a superpowered army for himself, the Phantom wakes up, and then it goes on a killing spree. Lex makes a run for it, only to get captured only to get shoved against the building by Clark, because Clark thinks that Lex had killed Lana. Spoiler alert, no, she wasn't dead, but we were made to think she was because we saw her getting into her van and then it blew up. But as Clark is about to exact his revenge, the Phantom then reveals itself, and Clark lets Lex go. He gets ready to fight the Phantom, but then it leaves its host body, and then it infects Clark. And when Clark wakes up, is torn across the building, and then suddenly when he gets up, he sees the Phantom has copied himself down. It's copied him. That's right, Bizarro's part of the show. And then we get a great throwdown between the two of them, with them accidentally causing catastrophic damage to the dam that they're currently in. And as Clark and the Phantom go rushing at each other, they collide, and the next shot shows Clark going flying out of the dam that they're currently in, and Bizarro flying out, getting ready to continue the battle. And then, of course, the dreaded to be continued flashes on screen. And I'm like, that's it? Come on! I was really excited and pumped up to see the rest of the battle and what was going to happen. I was glad to see, that Bizarro was part of the show. And it was overall a great finale, I think. One last bit of information was that also during the finale, we were told that throughout season 6 that Clark's best friend Chloe had discovered she had superpowers, and we also in the end of the finale we discover what that power is, because Lois, when she goes to the dam herself, she gets stabbed by one of Lex's men, and she apparently dies. Chloe, and a great bit of acting from Allison Mack, though, and she grieves over Lois's body, begs her to stay with her. Then suddenly, Chloe cries, and her tear actually revives Lois. But when Lois wakes up, she finds herself standing next to Chloe's corpse, making it seem like she's died. And at the time, that was a bit of a. While she gets better, it was quite a surprise, I have to say. So, season 6 of Smallville.
Okay, Mike, you're up next. What's number 5 on your list?
So the whole idea of trying to avoid spoilers, that's kind of out the window now at this point now, isn't it?
Colton missed that memo, apparently. He's supposed to keep spoilers to a minimum, Colton.
Anyway.
They weren't that bad.
I've
seen Smallville, and I kind of like to.
My number 5 is the first season finale of Farscape. Now, if you've never seen Farscape, do yourself a favor and try and track it down.
Or even heard of it?
You've never even heard of it?
No.
Well, ran for 4 seasons on Sci-Fi Channel. It was co-production by Jim Henson Company, because there are a few Muppets in the show, but it's used so effectively. The show's basically this sci-fi space opera about this American astronaut that gets launched through a wormhole and finds himself on this prison ship in an alien part of the universe and he has to try and survive with these others. The first season finale is, I'm not going to go into details, but needless to say, the main character and one of his friends are trapped floating out in space while the main ship has to vamoose, get away, and they're just floating there, and then it cuts to black. I mean, it's a pretty intense season finale, and it kind of sets the stage for what's it ends a bunch of storylines from the first season, but it kicks off a bunch of series seasons that you're gonna see in season 2. So, and it was a very effective one, and that's why it's number 5 on my list.
All right, very good.
Seriously, check this show out. It's fantastic.
All right, Caleb, I'm coming to you. What's number 5 on your list?
Okay. I have to give a little disclaimer. I don't watch that much TV, to be honest.
Fair enough.
I really don't. Dominated by, yeah. But saying that, number 5 on my list is going to be Arrow season 1.
Okay.
Now the reason I have it. I have Arrow is because going into that season, I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't really know what they were going to do with it. But it blew me away. It's simple. It was great. And then you culminated with he finally beats Merlin, But then you have that moment where, again, spoiler, Tommy dies, gets that skewered. And I actually liked Colin Donnell as Tommy. I hated Laurel, but I like Tommy. So I wish that she would have died. Of course,
we all do.
But that was a moment where I kind of felt something. Like, he wasn't my favorite character. Obviously, that's Stephen Amell.
Yeah,
is Oliver. But I felt something because I was like, you know what? I like Tommy. Man, that sucks, man. It sucks that he died. And it culminated a great season that was again, it was simple, fun, like it didn't mess around, a really good season.
Okay, very good. Okay, so number 5 on my list is Call to Arms from season 5 of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. And I absolutely love this episode because here's why. ever since the end of season 2, when we first learned about, when the Federation first learned about the Dominion, the evil Dominion from the Gamma Guard, we basically been anticipating this point when the Federation and the Dominion would finally go to war. Well, it finally comes in this episode, and we finally get our first a full glimpse of just the power they possess. And without going to too many spoilers, they can kick some ass. The Dominion can kick some ass. So yeah, at the end of the episode, things don't seem to be looking good for the Federation, and it's only going to get worse before it gets better over the next 2 seasons. So, an incredible start to one of the greatest and to an absolutely incredible final 2 seasons of a fantastic season. Call to Arms, Star Trek Deep Space Nine Season 5, the beginning of the Dominion War. Absolutely stellar. All right, so that was number 5. So up to number 4. Jack, you're up again. What's number 4 on your list?
Mine is one I'm pretty sure everybody has seen. Justice League Unlimited.
Which season? Because there were 2.
The 2nd season.
Okay, then.
The actual finale. Finale. We got to see Superman just cut loose, punch Darkseid, fuse with Brainiac through multiple buildings. Got to see Luthor save the day. Got to see a bunch of heroes saving the day. And it ends with a great, Luthor and Brainiac going away. Batman saying they're probably not gone. And it ends with Batman letting the villains get a 5-second head start and they all run away. And then, of course, comedic gold when Giganta kisses the Flash and then leaves. And then it ends with them all running after the villains and they say the adventure continues. And it was a great ending to a great series.
Okay, all right. Very good. Colton, you're up next. What's number 4 on your list?
Okay, I'll keep the spoilers to a minimum this time. But
yes, please
number
do.
4 on my list is Spider-Man: The Animated Series Season 3. This is basically which is basically their adaptation of the Night Gwen Stacy died, only done so that they can't, but they can't kill anyone on this show, so they had to get a little creative with it. And the way they did actually was very well done. Actually, it tied into 2 early plot points in the season. And I loved how this was like the first time. This is the second time we've seen somebody, the Green Goblin in this case, learn Peter's identity. But the first time it was Venom. But when he did, he mostly just trolled Peter. Whereas in this case, we actually saw just how dangerous it can be when somebody knows his identity. And it had some fantastic voice work. Like this is the first time. I think this is the first time we ever saw Christopher Daniel Barnes really cut loose as Peter Parker. We got to really hear
the second time, don't forget, during his Dark Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay, yes, but in that case, he was really angry, but he was being influenced by the symbiote. In this case, it was all Peter. Yep. And I loved how we got to see him at Spider-Man in a blind rage. He was angry. He was not having any of the Goblin's crap this time. And it all culminates in I won't say what happens, but if you read a comic book in your life, you'll know what happens. Okay, not quite, since, again, 90s censors. But it was a good substitute. It was a good substitute, nevertheless. And I love how he tells off Madam Web towards the end. It was a great ending to what I think is probably the best season of Spider-Man: The Animated Series, and it really left you wondering what was going to happen next. And we would never really get a definitive answer to some of these cliffhangers because bullshit cancellations. But what are you going to do?
Someone bring that damn show back. Mike, you're up next. Team number 4 on your list.
Yeah, my number 4 is the season finale to season 1 of the Doctor Who reboot. No, not the reboot, but the restart, I should say.
Which one is this one? The one with Matt Smith or another one?
Christopher Eccleston.
Okay.
This is 2004, 2005. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, we just got the Doctor brand new Doctor Who series. It's been going on ever since, but the first season finale is by far one of the most memorable ones because all throughout the first season it's been teasing this Bad Wolf storyline, and so we get the real culmination, like what the Bad Wolf actually is, and we get an army of Daleks which is one of the Doctor's biggest and baddest enemies. You know, if you know anything about Doctor Who, you know what the Dalek is. But I mean, most shocking of all, and it's not really a spoiler because this has been out there for a while now. It ends with Christopher Eccleston's Doctor regenerating into David Tennant. I mean, we'd only had 13 episodes with Christopher Eccleston as the Doctor, and a lot of people really, really enjoyed it. I think he was a fantastic Doctor. I love David Tennant more, but I thought Christopher Eccleston was awesome, and to have that regenerate so quickly after we just get the new series was a pretty shocking finale. But honestly, if you've never seen Doctor Who, this is where you need to start. You don't need to worry about any of the 50+ years of the previous episodes. This is the one you start with. It'll tell you everything you need to know. Everything else is just kind of gravy on top. So, number 4, The Parting of the Ways, the season finale of the Christopher Eccleston Doctor.
All righty then, nice pick. Caleb, you're up now. What's number 4 on your list?
Budget based, and if we're gonna give the title of the episode, I mean, I guess I'll start here. You know, like I didn't know we were doing that, so it's cool. My number 4, Power Rangers season finale earlier. I love Power Rangers. Everybody knows that. So mine is Chase into Space Part 2, the season finale of Power Rangers Turbo. Shitty season, great finale, great ending, great like a cliffhanger. I still remember being a kid. I was probably 8 years old. I mean, I can't remember exactly. And watching them blast off into space, and then that, my TV continued in the Power Rangers space. And at that point, I didn't know what the hell. Like I was like, huh? What was going on? You know, and it's a lot of nostalgia. I felt like it was an end of an era, because you actually see the power channel blow up. It doesn't like regenerate again, so it felt like the end of something, and it just a lot of nostalgia because I remember watching that as a kid. So.
All right, nice one. All right, so number 4 on my list, and Caleb, Mike, you'll probably get a kick out of this one. Number 4 on my list is the 2-parter Countdown to Destruction from Power Rangers in Space. Now, for those of you who don't know this, possibly Jack, I don't know how big a Power Ranger fan you are, this was supposed to be the final season. Believe it or not, the Power Rangers supposed to end after this. So as a result, Saban, Bandai, everyone involved, they pulled out all the stops to make this the best damn season they could. And honestly, I think it was. I mean,
this might be the best season.
The special effects can be a little shitty sometimes, but the writing is top notch, acting well above average. One of the best villains, if not the best villain in the whole franchise. And the finale was just the pure icing on the cake. I mean, we finally get the massive invasion we've been promised for so long. Massive destruction upon the Earth. The Rangers across the world getting their asses kicked by the United Alliance of Evil and I'm trying to keep spoilers to a minute, but fuck it, it's been 20 years. Having Andros sacrifice Zordon to save the world it was heartbreaking. It was emotional, but it was so beautifully done. And admittedly, having Andros cry and that brings Astronema back to Karan, his sister. I'm like, a little bit, but who cares?
Yeah, we lost Zordon. We didn't want to lose Andromeda as well.
I mean, we just saw a giant wave of goodness destroy all the evil in the universe. So I think seeing somebody cry to bring their loved one back to life is pretty plausible at this point.
Yeah, you're right. I thought, what an incredible ending to an incredible season. And this may come off as a little bit controversial to Caleb, but as much as I love Power Rangers, and I'm glad it's still in the air for future generations to enjoy, had that been the final season and Power Rangers done after that, I think I would have been okay with it because it ended on such a perfect note. It wrapped everything up, everything like this entire arc, Zordon arc, the whole team. It ended right there. I would have been all right with it. I'm glad it's not. I'm glad it's still in the year, even though we've had some shitty seasons after it. But we've had some good ones too. And I'm glad it's still in the year for younger generations. But yeah, like I said, I would have been okay if that was it. If that ended after the 6th season. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad it kept going because I really liked Rescue.
Lightspeed
Like
Rescue.
Rescue's good.
Lightspeed Rescue. Thank you. And Time Force actually. I really like Time Force, but I do agree.
Guys is good. I mean, like there were good seasons, probably, but that's probably the greatest singular season. I still enjoy Mighty Morphin more as a whole, but as a singular season, it, in my opinion, it competes with Mighty Morphin Season 2 as the best season of Power Rangers ever. So it's really tough, man. It's really hard. So, but I mean, like I agree with you, Paul. So, well, go ahead.
I think Paul might have froze.
Oh,
Great.
Well,
He's the host.
That's okay. I believe it's Jackson.
Chris!
Go ahead, bud.
Chris!
Gentlemen.
Miller.
You just joined us right as our host just froze on us. So.
Yeah, Paul froze. What's up, brother? You list, Chris?
Hello, guys. What's going on?
Hey, Paul. Hey, Chris.
Hey. You just froze?
Yeah, he just left. He'll be back, I guess. So.
Damn it.
I guess he froze.
We just did numbers 5 and 4 on our list. So.
Oh, yeah.
We're on number 3, so.
Power Rangers has shown up 3 times, if you can believe it.
I'll say that again.
As a power.
I guess I'm pretty. I wonder why I haven't stabbed anyone yet. I'm just kidding.
All right.
Well, as they say, the show must go on. Do you have a list, Chris?
Okay. Okay. Number 5 on my list. Yes, doing TV show finales. Yeah. All right. TV show finales. Number 5, the season 5 finale of Star Trek: Deep Space Nine. Hold arms.
That wasn't the one that Paul did, right? Paul did season 2, right?
He did. I did season 3.
That was season. That was season 5.
Yeah. No. Paul's either number. I think number 4 was Deep Space Nine in season 3.
Check in.
Yeah.
He had it on his list.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's pretty.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I say. And this is the finale of it. This is the Federation is. There's been talk about the Federation being about the being. Yeah, war finally. War becoming an inevitability between the Federation and the Dominion, despite trying to fight against every chance for preventing to happen. But it does happen, and man, this is quite entertaining. This is entertaining, and this is why I feel this Deep Space Nine is the best of all the shows. It just feels more exciting. It feels more bold. You know, it's just like, I mean, it's darker than most of the Star Trek series, and this is one of the examples. This episode is one of the examples of why I like that series so much. Of course, you got, it's just like, of course, you got some great character moments, and great romantic subplots and so forth and so on. It's quite involving. It's just like, but yeah, I mean, it's not as great as some Star Trek season finales, but I would rank this one very high among those. I mean, it's quite our packed with so much delight, I liked it very much. And yeah, number 4 on my list is the season 2 finale of Battlestar Galactica, of the reboot Battlestar Galactica, Lay Down Your Burdens, part 1 and 2. And this involves, Starbuck leading a mission to rescue survivors from the planet Caprica, and you have Dr. Baltar using that as a linchpin for his campaign. It's just like, I mean, it's just so much is packed. It's really this is another valley that involves you on so many different levels. You have moral dilemmas. You have great dialogue. You got great character moments here. Just here and there. It's just like, and because I always love the appearance of Dean Stockwell, Al from Quantum Leap, and appearing in the episode as brother Cavill. Just is like, I just like this episode so much. On days I tend to like the season 1 finale of Battlestar Galactica a little bit more, but I feel this has a more tighter focus to it. That's what I get. I mean, it's ambitious, and it doesn't let up for a second. It's a really compelling episode. So that's my number 4.
Cool.
Yes.
All right, go ahead and give me your number 3, Chris.
Yeah, what?
And
number 3?
Then I'll get Jack, and then we'll go down the line.
Number 3, it's in the finale of The Simpsons. Is Who Shot Mr. Burns?
Yeah,
it's
a classic.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's a classic. It's his scenes that Mr. Burns is lust for greed and power have quite. Let's just say his thirst is quite quenched. I mean, it just is like. And this episode came from Matt Groening. This whole idea came from Matt Groening, by the way.